In Austin, I'm Quita Culpepper. Dozens of people are without a place to stay after flames ripped through an apartment building in Bee Cave. We're told the icy conditions made fighting the fire even more difficult Monday morning. Callers reported smoke and fire pouring out of the roof, which partially collapsed. Everyone made it out safely. 45 people were displaced from 20 apartment units in the building that caught fire. One firefighter was hurt because he slipped on the ice. Officials say the cold weather makes their response challenging, but crews are trained for these conditions.
They do train for those kind of operations to where they have to stretch long lines and connect hose bundles. So they immediately went into that type of operation and mode. And we're able to make an interior attack to begin with, but because of the roof collapse, they had to withdraw.
While there's slick and icy conditions on the roadways, Travis County officials say they've been pre-treating and re-treating roads. Icy conditions at Austin's airport led to hundreds of flight cancellations. Many passengers are flying to or coming from places impacted by the winter storm. And on Monday, there were still some flights to and from places like Dallas or New York. Just a couple of days ago, that was not the case. The airport crews responsible for de-icing the runways and taxis say after a long weekend, their work is getting easier.
So today and through the rest of today, we're just kind of monitoring what's out there right now. For the most part, the airfield's in great condition. We're just kind of watching for any melting areas that might refreeze tonight. And if there's any issues, we've got a team here that's ready to take care of it and make sure everybody's safe.
Crews say they've been working nonstop, putting de-icers on the runways. We know a lot of people needing a place out of the cold turned to the city's warming centers. Austin officials say they saw a record number of people using those overnight sites. As of Monday night, more than 850 people took advantage of the warming centers. The city also moved 11 families into hotels. While the Homeless Strategy Office started with 3 warming centers open each night, they expanded to 7 facilities to help meet demand. Homeless Strategy Officer David Gray says on Friday night about 300 people came in, but they saw their biggest crowd on Saturday. He stresses the importance of seeking shelter in this dangerously cold weather.
We know that we lost 1 life, but we also saved over 850 others. And so it's so important that we do our part for our community. And it's so important for everybody to know that whether you're unhoused or housed, whether you're an individual or you're a family, whether you're a single person or you have a pet, it doesn't matter. If you need a safe, warm place to be, please, please, please reach out to us.
With temperatures expected to get above freezing on Tuesday, Gray says the facilities will close during the day, but stay open in the evening and overnight. Before the winter storm hit, social media was filled with photos and videos of long lines and empty shelves at grocery stores. Psychologists say there are a number of not so obvious reasons shoppers often overreact and panic buy when the weather threatens. And here's more from Bob Buckaloo.
As winter storm warnings spread across forecasts and social media, grocery stores became the first stop for anxious shoppers, in some cases triggering waves of panic buying. Psychologists say they're not surprised. It's a phenomenon that is driven less by actual need and more about a part of the human brain that can react without us thinking logically.
We're not logically shopping. We are shopping for protection. When you see others buy, you've got these mirror neurons going on in your brain, and they copy behavior.
Psychologist Dr. Lee Richardson has devoted her studies to how the human brain works. She is founder of the Brain Performance Center.
We're emotionally reacting. And when that happens, people respond. They act from fast. They don't think through their buying decisions.
Memories of past shortages, as happened during the 2020 COVID pandemic and the 2021 Texas ice storm, linger in the public consciousness. Seeing crowded parking lots or half-empty shelves can create a feedback loop, convincing customers that supplies are running out, whether that's true or not. Retailers note that items associated with comfort and routine, such as bread, milk, eggs, and snack foods, are often the first to sell out. Experts emphasize that most winter storms don't disrupt food supply chains for long. Still, Dr. Richardson says if uncertainty remains part of severe weather events, panic buying is likely to continue. One shopping cart at a time. Bob Buckaloo, KVUE News.
We could be headed for a partial government shutdown. Lawmakers have until the end of the week to pass appropriation bills, but they're facing opposition after this weekend's deadly shooting of a Minneapolis man by federal agents. Daniel Perot asked Texas Congress members how talks are going.
The shooting of Alex Preddy at the hands of federal agents, ratcheting up the odds of a partial government shutdown.
The killing of Alex Preddy was just horrific.
Joining Democrats like Congressman Greg Casar are several Republican colleagues like Congressman Michael McCall, who say they're troubled by what has happened in Minneapolis.
On this vote, the yeas are 220 and the nays are 207.
6 appropriations bills, which fund things like Homeland Security, transportation, the Department of Defense, education, and Health and Human Services have passed the House, but they still need to get through the Senate.
There's been bipartisan compromise on 96% of the budget.
Top Senate Democrats want Republicans to decouple DHS funding and advance the other bills. Minority Leader Chuck Schumer says without changes, Democrats plan to vote no. Republicans need their votes to advance the bills over the Senate's 60-vote threshold. Democratic Congressman Greg Casar calls it a good start, but says he wants to see changes to how federal agents operate.
I think we've got to ask for common sense restraints, like saying the masks need to come off. You can't have all these warrantless arrests.
Texas has 2 Republican senators speaking out against stripping DHS funding from the bill. Senator John Cornyn says shutting down ICE and DHS solves nothing, and those tasked with enforcing our laws and keeping our homeland safe need funding to continue doing their jobs. Senator Ted Cruz weighed in on the latest episode of his podcast.
I think the Democrats are going to force a shutdown, and I think they want it to be extended.
It's been just 2.5 months since the record-breaking 43-day shutdown in the fall. Casar says if there's a shutdown, it's on Republicans.
There's no reason for a government shutdown unless Senate Republicans so much want to shut the whole government down in order to defend what ICE is doing in Minneapolis.
With the clock ticking down to Friday's deadline, lawmakers on both sides of the aisle weighing their options to avoid another shutdown.
And that was Daniel Perot reporting. The Senate is set to vote on the government funding bills on Thursday. The House is not in session this week, so representatives won't be around to pass modified funding bills before Friday. And those are the headlines in Austin. I'm Quita Culpepper.